What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Pokemon Go leak video. Today we're going to be talking about gyms, about the combat system, about quality of life changes, and just generally the leaks we've gotten over the past day. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. So first off, I want to preface this by saying that this information all came from /r/thesylphroad on Reddit. Go ahead and check them out if you want to be part of the best Pokemon Go community that the internet has to offer. So basically what happens is they talk to all the people that are in the beta, and there are some people that give them information in private, and then they relay this information without getting anyone banned to the public. So it's nice to see all of the things that they're getting in the beta, all of the updates and everything that happen, and the new features that get added in as they get added in without getting anyone banned. So we can feel good about it, and they can feel good about it. So it's all good, guys. So guys, gyms have been unlocked, the combat system has been confirmed, and we have a lot to talk about here. So first off, let's talk about training. I know that's a little boring, but just bear with me. So when you start out, you see a gym and it's totally neutral. You have the opportunity to drop off a Pokemon and take over the gym. So basically at that point, if you drop off a Pokemon, you're the first person to drop off a Pokemon. You're considered the gym leader of the gym, and then you can train at that gym by fighting the Pokemon that you dropped off. Now, this has created some kind of funny situations where people dropped off their most powerful Pokemon to defend the gym, and then they want to go train at their gym, but they can't because none of their Pokemon can beat the Pokemon they dropped off. So basically, if you want to train a Pokemon, all you have to do is be at a friendly gym, and then you fight the Pokemon that are defending the gym with a Pokemon that you want to train. And this seems like it's going to be a kind of weird system, and I'm not exactly sure if there's any actual justification they have for having it that sort of way and making it so you fight your own Pokemon to train them, which seems a little strange. You'd think you'd fight random Pokemon that are outside the gym or something like that, but that's just my opinion. Maybe they have actual justification for it. I guess we'll see in the future, but right now it seems a little weird, but that's how it works. So when you actually fight an opposing gym, it appears that the combat system that's used in training is also used in that, which is basically a real-time Pokemon battle system, which is something that we've wanted forever, that a lot of people dreamed about when they were little kids and they first got into Pokemon. So this is a really big deal, guys. So bringing the combat system down to its basics, you have your quick attack, which is your quickest attack that you can use and doesn't use up a lot of stamina, and apparently each Pokemon has a stamina bar that's under its HP bar that dictates what it can do in the battle. But you have your quick attack, which moves quicker and is static for each Pokemon. You have your charge attack, which can change from each Pokemon to Pokemon, and then you can also dodge your opponent's attacks. So it's a really fast, really hectic battle system, and I'm really excited to get actual footage of it because at the moment we haven't seen anything. But guys, the way that the Sylph Road moderators are kind of gushing over what they've seen is just crazy. It makes me think that this combat system is much more than we thought it was going to be, and that we should be really excited for it. So I'm hyped. Hope you guys are hyped as well for that, because that is a really big deal. So moving on, we also saw some less important quality of life changes they added to it. Now, I don't want to discount this for what it is, but it means they are actually taking feedback from the beta and shoving it back into the development cycle and making changes actively on the game constantly and then just updating it very frequently. We've seen that in the past, and it's continuing to the present day. So very, very happy to see that. For example, it seems like they changed the way you catch Pokemon. Now it's more skill oriented, and if you can time things exactly right, like throwing the Pokeball, less than just being lucky and getting the Pokemon. Now obviously the Pokemon actually being caught has some skill to it and some luck to it, but it was more luck before they did this quality of life change, so it's very, very nice to see that. They also changed how you interact with nearby Pokemon, and they also added in more items, so now they have potions and revives because there's a combat system and training. So when you train a Pokemon, it also looks like your Pokemon's HP is going to drop a little bit, which makes sense. It sort of functions a lot like the Ingress XM, because then you can just use a potion and restore the HP that your Pokemon lost. So at this point, I feel like HP is probably going to be more of a resource than any Pokemon game or anything like that, sort of in line with XM and Ingress, because of the way that they added in potions. Basically, after you train a Pokemon, its HP falls a little bit, and then you have to use a potion on it to get it back up to full HP. So it makes me think it's going to work a lot like XM and Ingress. but I really have no other reason to think that other than I can draw comparisons between both the games. So right now it looks like they also changed the amount of items you get from Pokestops. It may be that they increased the amount of items that Pokestops would have normally given when the beta initially dropped because they wanted to test it out, and now they're sure it's fine, so they can kind of dial it back to what they want to do for actual testing to see if people are okay with it and if they're getting enough items to use. So it does make sense that they do that, and I can respect their decision. I know a lot of people are kind of going off the deep end about that and making it seem like they're going to monetize everything, and I don't think that's the case yet. There are a few things that they could probably do that would totally drive me to that area and being a little bit more cynical about it, but from the things that I've seen today and the things that I've heard today, I'm very, very optimistic about how the game's going to work and how it's going to be monetized. So I'm sort of maintaining my optimism. Some other people can be cynical for me. I don't care. Probably the coolest thing that came out of this entire thing was the combat system, but not just the combat system itself, but how it could actually mean that we're going to have player versus player combat, which actually is looking a lot more likely than it was before. So again, if you look at the actual combat system, you'll see nothing that they couldn't make you do player versus player right in front of each other face to face. And I do think that we're probably justified in thinking that they are going to have a player versus player combat system included at some point, so you can battle your friends that are right next to you, that you're standing next to, that you want to battle, because that's kind of like the whole point of the Pokemon game, is the interactions between players. I could understand if it wasn't something present at the actual release of the game. Obviously, it could be an update down the road a little bit, but I do think it will be included at some point in the life cycle of the game, and I'm very excited that the combat system is conducive to a player versus player face-to-face battling system, because I really think it's possible at this point. So there's a lot more to talk about, I guess, but I don't really want to talk about it in this video because I haven't actually seen any of the footage yet, so I don't want to get into any of the cynicism of it. I don't want to get into any details of it because I don't really have any details past what I've been told by the Silph Road subreddit. So if you want to check out more, go ahead and check out their post on it because it's very detailed, and I left out a little bit in this video, but it's stuff that I don't really think is important at this point anyways. It might be important in the future, but right now I've talked about all that I think is really important to talk about. But guys, that is going to be about it for today's video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you back here for the next Pokemon video I have coming out. It's probably going to be a brand new episode of Pokemon One Life, but I hope to see you there. Until next time, peace.